What is up, guys? Diplex here again. Hope everyone's had a good day. In today's video, we're finally going to take a look at the French island I've been working on for so many days now. I'm excited, you should be too, because the battle that we are about to enjoy on this very map is going to be absolutely insane. The French have turned this island into an island fortress. It has guns everywhere, and the invasion of this island will be near impossible. But of course, the Americans are going to try, so that is something I'm looking forward to very much. That is going to be something to look forward to in part 4. In this video, we are going to just take a look at the entire island. I want everyone to be up to speed. I want everyone to know what's going on, because in the actual battle video, we're going to have little time to focus on the various positions on the map. We're going to simply be focusing on the actual combat, which will start on the beaches here, on the eastern side of the island here to the left, and then hopefully, for the sake of the Americans, progress further inlands. It's going to be insane. It's going to be a very costly battle for both sides, but hopefully, whatever happens, we can revisit this island in the future. I spent so much time on it, it's insane. It's literally the reason why I haven't been uploading regularly recently, and it would be a shame if we only had to use it for like a 10-minute video. So yeah, it's going to be used more. Excuse the noise, the French are ranging in their guns for the coming battle, so I thought it'd look cool. And hey, we're actually gonna change the skybox to something a little more brighter. There we go. And it's also a little windy here this sunny morning, so you can tell all the dust just being shaken and stirred off of these sandbags by these massive guns. So what we've got here is sort of a coastal battery. It's not really a concrete position. Obviously, this is 1936. You've got limited supplies and time. This island was fortified during the invasion of Natuna, which happened about 30 days before the outbreak of the actual war. So they've had about a month or 5 weeks now to prepare this, and everything that you can see here can easily be done in like 40 days time with 2 companies of French soldiers and sappers. So yes, we're not going to see any huge concrete bunkers, because, well, the French are limited here in their colonial areas. Obviously, this isn't a mainland construction, so I've tried to keep things simple and colonial. I'm so excited. These guns are just going nuts. So yes, coastal battery surrounded by sandbags. There's some cover here above the guns, but 2 firing holes for the 2 huge barrels. They're absolutely insane. I think these guys here are 120 millimeters, and they're going to be firing at U.S. ships surrounding Natuna, and of course the island itself, because this island isn't very far away from Natuna, so I think these guns would be able to range there. So this is something that's going to threaten the US Navy in the area as well, and it's kind of cool that, hey, this is where the remaining 2 regiments from that battalion went. The other 2 were on the island of Natuna themselves, and that's all. So they put up a pretty good fight there against a whole battalion of US colonial marines. So moving down from this sort of the throat of the island, or the eye of the, I'm not sure what this is called, but the head of the island. It looks, it's slightly different. It's sort of a high ground, and it's got a neck down here. A neck which is started and ended with 2 beaches on opposite sides of the neck. And this map, by the way, is based off of the real version, or the realistic island in real life, of course. And I've tried my best to replicate it as correctly as possible, with the beach here on the eastern side, ranging along from the head to the bottom here. And then you've also got the smaller beach here on the northwestern side of the island. So that's where the French have arrived to, because over here to the north is where you've got Vietnam and Saigon and all that, and to the east here is where you have the Philippines, and to the southeast in this direction, or the south, is where you have Natuna. So the US will be arriving here, and this is really the only beach where you can actually make a successful landing. It's huge, it's more open. If you tried to attack this beach here, in between the 2 cliffs or the rocks here, you would probably be slaughtered. So I think the French might set up some fortifications here, but they want to keep it open for their own supplies. So yeah, going down from here, we see some earlier defense preparations that were set up when the French first invaded. They've left them here in case they need to use them, but this was in case the US were to attack quicker, but they haven't actually noticed the French occupying this island, so they've succeeded in keeping it a secret until these guns started firing. Down here, we've got a small camp. The first house has been built. Just a simple wooden construction. The French are aiming to stay here for a little bit longer, so they've used a lot of woods and stuff. They've also landed a few vehicles. There's a major on the island and a few company commanders. They all have their personal vehicle to travel around the island with. There's also 2 Renault trucks, or possibly 1, but I believe there might be another one. They ship supplies. Okay, so it's nice to be able to carry some of the heavier stuff around the island using a vehicle, or to transport it instead of just using manpower, because there's a lot of heavy equipment here that needs to be towed and transported. So here's the actual beach that isn't really all too much right now. There's a boat here, currently docked on this small little pier. We have some supplies here. We have some cooking equipment, probably just a lot of food and stuff down here, and there's a few tents for the builders. I think the higher-ups will live here. It's a pretty good location. There's also a small sort of like small pond here, or whatever you would call this. Really cool. I think it's quite beautiful. Coming down here, we have some varying terrain and elevation. This is one of the batteries. This is the northern battery, okay? 2 guns. 276 millimeters firing away. They're going to be targeting infantry and boats here by the beach. So landing crafts and infantry on the beach. We have some Hotchkiss machine guns and some tents here for the soldiers manning and occupying this battery. This is also a truck, a French vehicle. It's a Somua. I'm not sure how you entirely pronounce it, but it is a French manufacturer of vehicles and equipment in the early 1900s. I'm not sure if they're still around, but it's cool to see a French vehicle in its full glory here. It looks sort of like a tractor, and there are 2 of these on the island. So they've also been used to obviously tow the guns. This is what they used to tow these 2 guns and the 2 big pieces up here. And we have another one tractor up by the radar station on the western side of the island, also towing equipment and whatnot. That is also currently where the battalion commander is located. So they've cut down a lot of trees, which is why it's barren in some areas. And that's obviously because they haven't shipped tree here. They've obviously gathered resources on the island to make this. All the sandbags are obviously used or made with sand from the island. We have a, I believe a 25 or 20 millimeter Hotchkiss. Located right here. And this is a beast. It is going to be extremely dangerous to be opposing this thing if you're an infantryman down on the beach. The rate of fire is insane. It has a small or low ammunition or ammo capacity, so the short bursts that it does fire will be incredibly damaging and dangerous, but there will be some a few seconds and moments of breathing time in between the salvos, which is when they are at their most vulnerable. So they have a few infantrymen defending them as well. So those are 2 nice little additions here by the beach. They're going to also target vehicles and infantry. Coming here to the southern battery, this one's quite different. It is not as fortified, it is not as big, but it has the same firepower. Just not as well defended as the northern battery. 2 76mm guns and 2 Hotchkisses back here. 2 Hotchkiss machine guns. There's also a small position over here with some infantrymen that can cover this side of the beach. And just a small campsite for the people crewing this battery. Of course, also a French flag. We'll take a look at the beach before we head to the west of the island. So, lots of fortifications, mostly just wooden and obstacles and barbed wire. There are also mines along the beach here. So, all along this barbed wire, so on the opposite side of the barbed wire, of course, there are anti-infantry mines placed by sappers. So, it's going to be very dangerous for the Marines that are about to set foot on this island soon. It's going to be just an insane battle, and I literally have no idea how it's going to go, but obviously the French are doing their best to keep this island. They want to use this island to reduce U.S. naval presence in the area, and of course also to as a base in case they need to stage further attacks on Natuna. So very cool indeed. I like that the French spread out a bit. Yeah, so no real solid obstacles. And they want to leave the beach open too, because of course the more obstacles you put here, the more cover the Marines are going to have. So that works both ways. Okay, we have a small sort of foraging site here. There's a few civilian vehicles that were brought here from Saigon too, or French Indochina. So a few trucks in here. What looks like a tracked vehicle. A tracked vehicle, good for some of this work here. So you can see a lot of the trees and palm trees have been cut down here. Moving down here to this little intersection, or this crossroad, we're coming up to a mortar emplacement. So 3 mortars in a dugout big trench, also with a company or artillery commander located there with his map and his radio equipment. These mortars will be able to target any enemy infantry on the island itself, and also infantry setting foot here in the shallow. So good range and in the central location so that they can turn around 360 degrees and engage all enemies. It is also defended by a small machine gun team and a static machine gun up here, just above its own position, so they can range down on any infantry attacking. Some light barbed wire emplacements around it. I don't think they've completed the whole circulation, but perhaps they only care about the approach from the eastern side. Coming up here to the western side of the island, we have the command center, or the sort of the radar center as well, and also not only that, a 150 millimeter gun as well, a howitzer that is going to be capable of attacking pretty much anything on this island. There's also a 76 millimeter gun here, which is here in case something does arrive here on the western beach. You want to have at least one gun or a few other infantrymen that can target infantry attacking on this extremely small beach. So this down here is just a kill zone, which is why they haven't focused on really fortifying that area that much. And perhaps the US Marines will utilize that despite the risk of being targeted in a very, very narrow area. We have a few Lewis machine guns that the French have bought or use here in this area. Another tractor, a small medical station, some ammo reserves, of course the radar itself, which is, it's I suppose state of the art at this time. Also a typewriter. I suppose we have a war journalist here or something. Someone's got to write glorious and romantic versions of this very battle and journey that the French have embarked on. So of course they have someone there to document this. We have a battalion commander and two other commanders here, perhaps a lieutenant and a captain. Some more supplies. Obviously lots of ammunition is needed up here in case, because you can't necessarily make your way down to the other ammo depots once they get taken. So there's spread out ammo depots. There's not one set ammo depot or one set like vehicle parking. That battalion commander also has his own personal vehicle and driver up here. There's also a small bunker here. It's not big. There's room for just about a squad of men to sleep here. This is probably where the commander sleeps. It's underground, and it's probably the safest place here on the island. But that is what the French have done to this island during their month of occupying it. These guns are firing in the distance, and it's starting to hurt my ears actually, because it's a very, very loud. I'm going to change the skybox one more time so that you guys can get a better idea of what it looks like in full daylight. It's a beautiful island, I think. It's entirely self-made, and it's taken me so long, and I hope we can use it for many videos to come. If the US succeed in taking it, then perhaps they will make changes to it. They will probably use the French equipment here, but they might, you know, fortify the other beaches. They might even fortify this beach to make it harder for the French to attack from the western side, or the northwestern side, which is where they naturally would come from if they would send more troops here from French Indochina. I'm excited for the battle to begin. I am looking for your ideas and suggestions as well in the comment section down below. This is an island that I don't know the name of and that we can name. So also, if you're looking to name this island with me, let me know in the comment section down below what you think it should be called. I'm open to changes. I'm open to suggestions and ideas. We run this series together, and I'm honored to have you guys so involved and excited for Part 4. So I know that there's been like 2 previews now before Part 4, but Part 4 is going to be so massive. The previous video was just to let you guys know, hey, I haven't dropped the series. It's still continuing. I'm making a map I want your suggestions. You guys said like coastal batteries, you said mortars, you said all this and that, vehicle depots and whatnot. Of course, there's not really a vehicle depot here because it's a small island, so we're not gonna have that many vehicles on it. There's a handful of vehicles here, but no tanks. The French did simply not have any tanks here, and I don't think they ever really did have any tanks in French Indochina. I'm not sure. Maybe they had later in the 50s during the Vietnam War, but right now I cannot answer that question. Not in 1936. I wouldn't think they transported any big like Char 1Bs or whatever they're called here, but perhaps some Samoa tanks. There were a few lighter ones that they could have had here, so perhaps we'll look into what I can arrange. I'm not saying this is all set in stone, but this is what I've made so far, and I'm honored and excited to have you guys enjoying this so much. Hopefully you will too. Look forward to the next part. This has been a video I've wanted to make for a long time now since completing this map, just to let you guys see everything. And also to just share this moment with you. Part 4 is going to be insane. Hundreds of troops will invade this island, and I think also the U.S. will employ some light cruiser or destroyer support in attacking this island as well. So we will have ships, perhaps on the battlefield itself. We might see big ships out here by the coast of the island, firing at the island itself. If not, we will have some serious naval batteries or like naval guns out there firing at the island in a counter artillery purpose to support the troops attacking. So this island might be shot to pieces, I don't know, but I'm honestly super excited for the battle. And hopefully we can use it for future parts. Perhaps the US take it, perhaps the French choose to recapture it. Who knows? Maybe some other people will show up. We don't know. But it's here, and it's here to stay. Thank you guys for watching this video. Look forward to part 4, and I'll see you guys soon again. Ciao.